We'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Inhale deeply. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. We are covering chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita. Now, in chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita, what we saw is that Parayana Kala, that was the primary, if you want to say, what's the key word in chapter 8, it is Prayana Kala, at the time of death. Okay, Bhagavan said, at the time of death, if someone remembers me, they will reach me. And he also has given several different ways to reach him. One is that, of course, for us to be able to think about him at the time of death, what we need to do is that we have to think about him throughout our life. That is the basic fundamental thing. But then there are some additional helpers, such as one is like Raja Yoga, okay, and the other is chanting of Om. Okay, chanting of Om with understanding what Om means. Then, now, once if you do this, he says that you will reach me and you will be freed from this Dukkhalayam. Okay, Dukkhalayam. Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji says something like this, right? Alayam in Sanskritam means temple. Now, but also Alayam, you will also see Vaidyalayam. Vaidyalayam means what? Wherever there's a Vaidyam is available, that is Vaidyalayam. Right? Vaidyam means what? Vaidyam means treatment. So that means that if someone, so Vaidyalayam, for sake of benefit of Jay, yes, I'm recording. Thank you. Okay. So for sake of Jay, right? Hospital in Indian languages is called as Vaidyalayam. Now, Vaidya means, okay, wherever you want chikitsa, means like wherever you need the treatment, the place, the abode of treatment is called as Vaidyalayam. So like that, Ramalayam means abode of Lord Rama is Ramalayam, so it's temple of Lord Rama. Now, in here, Bhagwan uses the word, especially in like Shloka 15, Dukkhalayam, he says. Dukkhalayam is abode of Dukkha. Okay, so if you want Dukkha, it's just like, when you want treatment, you go to hospital, Vaidyalayam. And once the treatment is done, you'll come out. But if you want to have Dukkha, You come into this world. Now, once you came into this world, once you experience enough dukkha, you want to get out of this place. Okay? But if you think that I did not get enough dukkha yet, then of course you can continue in this world. That's the idea. Like when this dukkhalayam word is used in the 15th shloka, mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So that means if one, if any sincere devotee who tries to reach God sincerely, they they will get out of this dukkhalayam. That is the one thing. Okay. And there is no more punarjanma, means there is no more rebirth. And he is going to attain this abode of Bhagwan. Now the question is, what is the big deal of going to the abode of Bhagwan? What does this exactly mean? That is something that we are going to cover in today's class. Okay, so before we start, do you have any questions? Okay, so we'll start with shloka number 16. Now, I'll first break down the words and then we will chant the shloka. Abrahma bhuvanat lokaha. So Abrahma bhuvanat and lokaha becomes bhuvanal lokaha. Okay, so Abrahma bhuvanal lokaha. Punaha avartinaha Arjuna. So punaha and avartinaha becomes punaravartinaha. Now punaravartinaha and Arjuna becomes punaravartino Arjuna. Okay. Punaravartino Arjuna. Mam and upetya together becomes mam upetya. Tu kaunteya punarjanma. Punaha and janma together is punarjanma. Na vidyate. Na and vidyate are single words again. So one of you please unmute yourself and chant aloud, and everyone else while you're in mute, you please chant aloud. Abrahma bhuvana lokaha
ब्रह्मभुवनाल्लोकाः
punaravartinorjuna.
one sec, sorry. ब्रह्मभुवनाल्लोकः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन.
Lokaha dirgha is there. Okay.
Okay.
Mamu
ब्रह्मभुवनाल्लोकाः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन.
perfect. Okay. Mamu petyatu kaunteya
मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय
punarjanmana vidyate.
पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते.
So here, Ah, so Brahma. Okay, so now he called Arjuna, and I mean, like the thing is that interestingly, Bhagwan has called Arjuna twice, once in line 1 and once in line 2. Okay, so Arjuna is itself is a means he is a straightforward person. And also Kaunteya, the second time he said Kaunteya. Okay, so Kaunteya means son of Kunti. So that means one is showing the greatness of the person himself, the fame and glory of himself, the student, and then the lineage in which that Arjuna has come from. You are son of Kunti, that Kunti, like that. Okay. So he's addressing Arjuna, Abrahma Bhuvanat. So Bhuvana means usually loka. Okay, Bhuvanam means uh, it is a realm of existence is loka. Okay, Bhuvana. So Bhuvana and loka are very similar. Now, Brahma Bhuvanat Lokaha means the world where Brahma resides. Okay, so like we'll understand like in each the more in-depth meaning uh, soon, but first we'll understand individual words. Brahma Bhuvanat Lokaha means Brahma means including. Okay, Brahma Bhuvanat is where Brahmaji is there. Brahma means including that. Okay. Punar avartinaha means there is a possibility that you will come back. Avartinaha means coming back. Punaha means again. You can come back. Arjuna. Mamupetya. Tu. Okay. Tu. But on the other hand, okay, tu means but. Mamupetya. Once you attain me, Punarjanma means rebirth, na vidyate is not there. So that is the individual word meaning of this shloka. So now we'll go to, so the meaning is, simple meaning is like this, right? We say that there are 7 worlds, right? 7 worlds above, 7 worlds below, right? So the highest world we call it as Brahmaloka. So even including Brahmaloka, if you go, you will come back, Arjuna. But if you reach me, you are not going to come back. So, Brahmano Bhuvanam, Brahma Bhuvanam, Brahma Loka iti atyate. Okay, so wherever Brahmaji, so what is this Brahma Bhuvana? Is wherever Brahmaji is there, that is the world of Brahma. Now, interestingly, okay, ब्रह्म भुवनात् सह ब्रह्म भुवनेन लोकाः सर्वे पुनरावर्तिनः पुनरावर्तन स्वभावाः हे अर्जुन. So that means this is the commentary I'm saying, okay, from Shankaracharya ji. So up to the world of Brahma, including Brahma, okay, all worlds are subject to return. Meaning like, okay, so you are going to come back, Arjuna. Okay. So now this why is this is used is this something called as in Sanskritam, it is represents something called abhividhi. So suppose if you say, if you show like if you like, like you go to let's say White Mountains and you climb to a highest peak, then there are some pictures. Okay, so like if you go to the highest peak and you climb up, then there are some boards in front of you. Okay, and there it says, okay, this peak is this particular mountain, this is this particular peak, like that. Some visual representation of, right, whatever scene you're looking at, that picture is drawn and it is given. And then it says, because especially like if you go to New Hampshire, okay, so this is the border of Canada. So now the question is that if up to this building, sorry, up to this mountain, it is US, beyond that is Canada. If we say, now is this mountain included in US or outside of US? Now, if you say Brahma, what it means is that is inclusive pervasiveness. So that means that this mountain is also in US, beyond this mountain is Canada. But on the other hand, if you say Brahma Bhuvana Loka, which without then that means that this peak, this mountain that you're looking at is also part of Canada. So I mean, up to that point is US, and including that mountain, it is Canada. Okay, so this way means. Okay. Now, why is this being said is that we have 7 lokas, and majority of the time people understand that think, I mean, like majority of the time people think that moksha sometimes is going to Vishnu Loka and in Vaikuntha and being happily there, living happily. Now that Vishnu Loka, is different from Brahma Loka. Okay, Shiva Loka is different from Brahma Loka. like that, right? So that Brahmaloka, what it actually means is that the highest realm possible where you have individuality is Brahmaloka. So that means you are completely enjoying, but you still have the sense of individuality. So as long as there is sense of individuality, okay, it doesn't matter which loka you belong to. Okay. And then also there's a little bit more explanation is there that one of the, whenever Brahmaji as the creator Brahmaji, not Brahman. Okay, it is said, whenever he goes to sleep at the end of his day, this the first three words, Bhu, Bhuva, Suvaha, okay, and Maha. Okay, so these three words are three or four words are dissolved. So that means that every night of Brahmaji, these three or four these three words, Bhu, Bhuva, Suvaha, are going to be dissolved, but the ones beyond those are not dissolved. Okay? But on the other hand, when he passes away, okay, when his 100 years are up, all of those seven are also dissolved. So when Brahmaloka itself is dissolved, where is the question of uh, permanency there? Yes, not coming back. So someone has to come back. So that Brahma Bhuvana Loka. Okay. So okay. So Mam ekam upetya tu kaunteya punarjanma punarutpatti na vidyate. So however, once you tell me, you are not going to come back. So, and why is he saying this? Because if all of the people who went to Brahmaloka, if they are coming, you will have a question. Oh, if people going to Brahmaloka, if they are coming, so if I reach Bhagwan, will I also come back? So for that, he is emphasizing that no, 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 I am not. You are not going to come back if you reach me. Okay. So this is the meaning, right? So now, because Brahmaloka is also impermanent, okay, because Brahmaloka is also impermanent, what happens? You have to come back. Now, that means Brahmaloka is also bound by time. What kind of time Brahmaloka has? That is what is described in the next shloka. But again, the thing is that there is a little bit of a, and we need to understand a little bit more here. Brahmaloka, okay, is the highest realm possible where individuality is there, but we also have something called as Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti means the mukti or liberation in steps. So it is said that people who go to Brahmaloka, when at the time of dissolution, Brahmaji will give the education, the spiritual education to them, okay, those jivas, and with that, both Brahmaji and most of those jivas can gain liberation and they don't need to come back. However, some people, some jivas may come back. So that is why Bhagavan is saying that there is no guarantee that they are not going, they are going to stay there. Either they come back or they proceed forward. But what happened? Why is it that once you go to Bhagwan, there is no more return? Because there is no more you. Okay, that's a big difference. Until Brahmaloka, the individuality is there, and beyond Brahmaloka, when someone reaches Bhagwan, there is no more individuality. There is no more jivatva is not there. That is what it is said. So now, what is this nature of Brahmaloka? etc. That we are going to see in the next shloka. So, any questions before we go to the next shloka? So, I'll break down the words from for the next shloka. This first word is little bit long. Sahasra Yuga Paryanta Maharyat. Now, this one has multiple words. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahaha Yat. So these 5 words together. Okay. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. But we actually break down it. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. Ahaha and Yat will come to second portion. And Brahmanaha Viduhu. So Brahmanaha and Viduhu will become Brahmano Viduhu. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu. That is how we chant. Ratrim Yuga Sahasra Antam. Yuga Sahasra and Antam becomes Yuga Sahasra Antam. Te Ahoratra. Okay. Teho, sometimes you will see, depending on the language, it may say Tehoratra, but it is Te and Ahoratra Vidaha Janaha. Vidaha will become Vido and Vido Janaha. So this is how the word breakdown is. So let us please chant Sahasra Yuga Paryantam.
सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम्
Aharyad Brahmano Viduhu.
अहर्य I'm sorry.
Aharyad Brahmano Viduhu.
अहर्यद् ब्रह्मणो विदुः
Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam.
रात्रिं युगसहस्रान्ताम्
Tehoratra Vido Jana.
देहोरात्रविदो जनाः.
So, now let us understand what is this Brahmajis. Okay, so let us quickly understand, like from background perspective, what is Brahmaji's calendar look like? We say that we have 4 yugas, right? Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Which yuga do we live in? Any idea? No idea?
Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga.
Okay, Kali Yuga, right? Okay, good. And the age of Kali Yuga is about 432,000 years. Okay, 432,000 years is Kali Yuga. That is human years. Now, Dwapara is multiply this 432,000 times 2 is Dwapara. Multiply the same number 432,000 with 3 is Treta, and 432K multiplied by 4 is Satya Yuga. So then 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, that is 10. So 10 times 432 is 4.32 million years is one Mahayuga. Mahayuga is combination of Satya, Treta, Dwapara and Kali Yuga. Together is, that is 4.32 million years is one Mahayuga. Now, Brahmaji, okay, Brahmaji's day consists of, day meaning like his daytime, day consists of 1000 Mahayugas. Okay, 1000 such Mahayugas, which is 4.32 billion years, is Brahmaji's daytime. Now, interestingly, Brahmaji sleeps as much as he works. So if he is awake for 1,000 Mahayugas, his sleep time is also equal length. So a full day, okay, including day and night, is double that. So 8.64 billion years. Now, in our Shastra, in our scriptures, a year is 360 days, not 365. 360 days is 1 year. Because we have 30 days in a month and 12 times 30, 360. So, based on that, 1 year of Brahmaji is 3.11 trillion years. And he lives for 100 such years. So, that is 311 trillion years. Now, this number, 311 trillion years, is very large. No question, right? But then, once you see like the words like Google, what does Google mean? Google is actually like, that Google is a derivative from the actual word Google, Googol. And it got messed up somehow and it became Google. But do you know what Google means? No?
Sir.
Okay, you're Googling what Google is. Okay. So, like when you go to the bottom of a web search, especially using Google browser or the Google as your search engine, in the bottom, what will happen? You'll see G-O-O-O-O-O-O-O-O, like that. Like, I mean, there'll be like about 10 or 15 O's, and then GLE will be written. Have you ever noticed that? Yes, no? No. So, what that is, so the key, well, the thing is that Google is 1 followed by 100 zeros is Google. Okay. 1 followed by 100 zeros. Now, that means 10 to the power of 100, right? That's Google. Now, trillion is way lesser than that. Okay. Trillion years is big number, but compared to this Google, etc., it is like a very small number. So now what it is showing is that even though Brahmaji, etc., is like a bigger being and he is living such a long time, okay, even Brahmaji has to go away. Okay, so that is point number 1. Okay, now second thing is that this Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. Now this Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, okay, this is, what is Sahasra Yuga Paryantam? It is 1 day of Brahmaji. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, Sahasrani Yugani Paryantaha, Paryavasanam Yasya Aha Tat Aha Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. That's what it says. So that means it consists of 1,000 yugas. So that means the Sahasra Yuga Paryantam is ending in 1,000 yugas. Okay, 1,000 Mahayugas. Okay. Brahmana Prajapatehe Virajaha Viduhu. So they understand that this is the day of Brahma. Okay. Day of Brahma. You can call it as Prajapati. You can call as Viraja. Okay. Etc. Viraja or Prajapati, what it is difference is that you say as a creator, he is Brahma. Pati means husband, but also ruler. Prajapati means ruler of Praja. Now here Praja means not necessarily not only humans, but Praja means all creatures, all beings. So that is that he is Lord of all beings because he is the one who created and he is the one who is going to dissolve as well. And this Brahmaji, what is this Brahmaji? Like we have a visualization that Brahmaji is as someone with four heads. But it is nothing like that. Okay, that is just our visualization. Brahmaji means this universal form that is there. Okay, the entire universe that is there is nothing other than Brahmaji. Okay, so that's what the idea of Brahmaji is. So that Brahmana. Okay, so that this Ratrimapi Yuga Sahasranta Maha Parimanameva. So that means the night also, okay, is again 1000 years, means 1000 yugas, and it is same as daytime. Ke vidurityaha te ahoratra vidaha kala sankhya vido janaha ityarthaha. So now here what it means is that someone who knows calculation of time, they understand what is the daytime of Brahmaji, what is the nighttime of Brahmaji, etc. Okay. However, yataha evam kala parichinnaha te ataha punaravartino lokaha. So that means that all these lokas, whether it's Bhuloka to those 7 lokas up, 7 lokas down, all of them are limited by time. Therefore, they have to return. So here, what it is showing is that this Kala Parichinnatvat, okay? So Kala Parichinna means even whatever that number is, whether it is billion years, trillion years, etc., it doesn't matter. It is going to be cycled away. Okay, that is the meaning of this. Okay? And now whenever Brahmaji, okay, goes to sleep on a daily basis, it is called as Naimittika Pralaya. Actually, let us talk about, let us start with. So there are Pralaya. Pralaya means dissolution. There are 4 types of dissolutions are there. The first Pralaya is called as Nitya Pralaya. Meaning a Pralaya that happens at individual level. So when you go to sleep, what happens to your family, your job, your house, everything? They all disappear. Of course, when you wake up, they all come back. So this disappearance of the world for an individual wherever that person goes to sleep is called as Nitya Pralaya. Okay? And then the second type of Pralaya is Naimittika Pralaya. Naimittika, this words Nitya and Naimittika we also studied in the context of karmas. Nitya karma and Naimittika karma as part of Karma Yoga. So here Naimittika Pralaya means when these 1000 years of Brahmaji, I mean like 1000 yugas end, when Brahmaji goes to sleep, then some worlds disappear. What are those worlds disappear? That's what I was telling you before. That Bhu, Bhuva, Suha, these 3 lokas, and all the lokas that are below these. Okay, so that means that we have 7 lokas below Earth. Okay, Earth means, again, please don't think like as in physical Earth, but the entire universe that we are familiar with, this plane of existence is Earth alone. So that means that Sun is also Earth that way. Okay, when we say Bhu, the Sun, all the stars, the entire galaxy, okay, and entire Milky Way galaxy, constellations, whatever you call, right? All of them, the entire universe is Earth alone, like one realm of existence. So now, below this one realm of existence, there are 7 below. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala, like that. And then above Bhu, then we'll have Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Tapaha, Janaha, and Brahmaloka. Now, so the 7 below, and Bhu, Bhuva, and Suva, all of these are going to end at the end of Brahmaji's sleep, on a daily sleep. But what are the things that are remaining? Maha, Tapa, Jana, and Brahmaloka. Those 4 are remaining. So that means that whenever Brahmaji wakes up, he is going to create 10 lokas every morning again. So it is something like as every time we wake up, we brush our teeth every morning, we take shower every morning. So like that, his startup routine is to create all these 10 lokas. So that means all the jivas in these 10 lokas are dissolved at the end of Naimittika, at the time of Naimittika Pralaya. They are in unmanifest form. And when Brahmaji wakes up, they all come back to life, as in they again are manifested, and then they continue with their karma phala. Okay? And this is Naimittika Pralaya. Nitya Naimittika. Then when Brahmaji's time comes and he needs to pack up, as in like his 100 years are done, then at that time, those top 4 lokas are also destroyed. Maha, Tapa, Jana, and Brahmaloka, they are also destroyed. So at that time, that is called as Prakritika Pralaya. Now, when this Prakritika Pralaya, Prakriti is Prakriti. So the entire nature itself is dissolved. So when that is done, now it is said that when Brahmaji goes to, when Brahmaji finishes his lifetime, the gap for another Brahmaji to come is again the same amount of time. So this is 311 trillion years Brahmaji lives, and 311 years, 311 trillion years, there is no world. Okay, there's no universe. Then again, another Brahmaji comes. So this is what you call as Prakritika Pralaya, because there's no more Prakriti. And when that Brahmaji comes, instead of creating 10 lokas, he has to create all 14 lokas. Okay. Then we said there are 4 types of pralayas. Started with Nitya Pralaya, individual level. Second is Brahmaji's night. Third is Brahmaji's dismissal. And the 4th is called as Atyantika Pralaya. Now, this Atyantika Pralaya is also called as Paramarthika Pralaya. This can happen. It doesn't happen to all jivas at the same time, but it happens on a case-by-case basis. And what is that case-by-case basis? Whenever a jiva understands the impermanent nature of this world and gains moksha, then that is Achantika Pralaya for that jiva. And there is no more higher than that. And because the jiva hood is gone, because the jiva hood is gone, for that jiva there is no more world, there is no more prakriti, nothing. Okay. So this verse, so when this shloka is saying, okay, this shloka, what is it saying? That the people who knows the day of Brahmaji is 1,000 years, 1,000 yugas, and night is also 1,000 yugas. Like that, when they say it is talking about Brahmaji's Naimittika Pranaya. Why are they saying this? Is again, they want to, when Bhagavan wants to give a little bit more details on, like he's building up for the next one. Okay. what does it mean? Like a beginning of day means, what is it beginning of night means, and all of that. Okay, so that we are going to see in our next shloka. Okay, I'll pause here to see if any questions are there because these concepts are somewhat not these concepts we don't normally discuss in our satsang on a regular basis. So if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask me.
So Venkat, the essence is like it is saying the same thing what was saying in the previous verse, saying that like I mean, if you believe, if you reach me, then there is no return back. Like, is that
Yes.
like even Brahma Loka is temporary? Like it
Mhm.
has to. Okay.
Yeah. So Brahmaloka is also, I mean, from our human life perspective, it is 311 trillion years. That's a
Yeah.
long number.
Long
Right?
time. Yeah.
But if you look at from the perspective of a virus or something, what is the lifetime of virus? I don't know for sure, but I believe I somewhere I read it is like 20 minutes or something like that before it splits or something. I could be
Mhm.
wrong. So
Yeah.
now, compared to that, our lifespan is huge. We are like Brahmajis for them.
Mhm.
Okay. But at the level of Brahmaji, okay, and we are like that, right? I mean, like, okay, we are just coming and going, coming and going before he, by the time he blinks his eye. Okay.
Yep.
So, so all of this time is relative. Okay. Whether it is large number or small number, it doesn't matter. So that is what like the build-up is coming to.
Mm.
Okay. So the next shloka
People
is
have to go through these lokas to, is what he's saying, no matter what. But if they be, if they constantly meditate on God or self, is what will let them not go to this and go through. I mean, basically, what I'm understanding is even though they go to these lokas, they're still subjected to rebirth. Rebirth is what we're saying, right?
that is
And
correct.
it's only,
Mhm.
but to avoid that, believe in Krishna or believe in yourself is what it is saying. Like, how do you avoid that? Is it like a constantly meditate on me? Is what Krishna is saying? Is what I'm trying to understand.
Yes. Okay. Constantly meditate upon me, as in, like, he's not saying, like, constantly meditate on me as Lord Krishna, like that, right? So it is like understand that I am your indweller, right? So you
Mhm.
try to understand your own true nature. Once you understand your true nature, what happens is that you will understand that you are not different from the whole cosmos. Okay, when this whole cosmos, you are not different from whole cosmos, then where is you, that individuality will burst away. So the I mean, this is actually a Ramakrishna's parable, so Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's parable. So he says that a salt doll. Okay, like in our Western stories, we'll have like gingerbread cookie, etc. Right? So in the same way, uh, a salt doll, which is of course a doll which is made up of salt, wants to understand its true nature. And someone told that, like a Mahatma told that your true nature is sea, ocean, and it wants to understand its true nature, so it walks and goes to ocean, and then it jumps into ocean to understand its true nature. Now, the question is that what happened to that salt dog? Did it understand its true nature? I mean, from a simple thing perspective, it melted into ocean, yes. Okay.
Mhm.
But what happened is that when the salt in the doll became one with the salt in the ocean, there is no more salt doll and the ocean, but there's only ocean alone is there. Okay. The doll, the concept of doll is just a name that is put on that form of the salt, which was part of the ocean anyway. Now, when we want to understand our true nature and we want to become one with God, are you going to be there anymore? There is no more I or you. Right? There is not going to be any individuality anymore. All that is there is one totality. So when I or you merge with that totality completely, devoid of any individuality, that is called as moksha. So when that kind of a thing is there, where is the individuality to come back? Okay. See, only as long as you have individuality, you can come back. When there is no more individuality, what is there to come back? Okay. So that is the point that is being made here. Okay. It is not like, oh, me as Venkat or me as Pawan, I'm going to worship Lord Krishna somehow, okay, with something, okay, with some coconuts or chanting, Gita chanting or doing this or doing that, and somehow I'm going to get liberated and I'll go to him and I will not come back. No, the point that when you are going to him means you don't exist anymore. Your individual existence is removed. Okay, so that is the primary meaning. I mean, like that is what Bhagavan is saying, right? So as long as even in Brahmaloka, what happened is that your individuality existed. As long as individuality is existing, you are likely to come back. But once the individuality is removed, what is there to come back? There's nothing to come back. Who will come back? Individual has to come back, right? When individuality is removed, who is there to come back? Okay. And does that help, Pawan?
Yeah. So basically, as long as you have identity and you're identifying yourself to be separate, then you are subject to that rebirth. Even Brahma,
Yes.
who identifies himself as Brahma,
Yeah.
is subject to that. But then we're saying, like, if you try to transcend that, where you realize that you see the true nature and merge with one, then you're saying then that is what helps get there. Okay. And I'm just trying to understand what is that. I know we worship, we do all this, but to realize ourselves and all that. But I'm just trying to understand how do you do that, right? So it's basically, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Like he's saying, like even all these great sages who are even better than us were not able to attain that state, right? Including Brahma. I mean, of course,
Brahmaji,
a pious
again,
soul, but
yeah. So
they're all souls,
Brahmaji,
right? Ultimately, but
yeah.
they have their own identity or existence because of what they did.
So what happens is that Brahmaji, etc., they are all like a great souls, yes, but they were given some kind of a job to manage before they become one with God. Okay, so like some great Mahabhaktas or whoever, whatever that is, they are given that role to play and they go. So for example, like we studied today what I mean, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam we studied, right? 1,000 Mahayugas are there on a daily basis. So that means that there are 1,000 Treta Yugas. Okay, now in every Treta Yuga there's a Rama. Okay, Rama is Bhagwan. Okay, what about Vasishtha? Rama's guru Vasishtha, right? Now Vasishtha is the what you call how do you say? He's a great Mahatma, so he's a realized master. So is the same Vasishtha is coming again and again in every Treta Yuga?
Maybe not.
So that Vasishtha of previous Treta Yuga, he attained moksha, right? Whether it's those Vasishtha or those Saptarshis, that Narada, that whoever, okay, they all attained their salvation right there, okay, right then and there. And however, a new soul which comes, okay, a new soul means it's not like a new soul is created, but some other jiva who has matured enough to take on that role will come back as Vasishtha. So the name Vasishtha will remain same. Okay, the story continues same, but however, there are different cast of characters. other than Lord Rama and Mother Sita, okay, everybody is a different character who are coming there. Okay, maybe like when I say Lord Rama, of course Lakshmana, Bharata, Chaturnya, and the Hanumanji, they're all included, but right. But other than them, pretty much every other people are some other great Mahatmas that come there. That is how we should understand that. Okay. Any other questions?
One question.
Go ahead, Guru.
Yeah, so one question, Venkat. So we discussed the four yugas, right? And we are in the Kali Yuga now. So Kali Yuga is the yuga when adharma is on the rise, right? The evil is on the rise, right? A basic question is like, in such a yuga where adharma, the evil is on so much of a rise, right? Is it even possible for we human being to think about the attainment of moksha?
It is said that it is very easy to attain moksha in Kali Yuga compared to the previous yugas. Okay? Why is that is? Because in previous yugas, like say think about Kruta Yuga, okay, where dharma is everywhere. Now everyone is dharmic, everyone is satyavan, so there was no problem in the universe. Okay, when there is no problem, okay, so there is no pain or suffering at all anywhere, there is no reason to think about God. As in, like when they thought about God, yes, no doubt, but they weren't thinking about God in terms of moksha. Okay, so there, those Mahatmas in Kruta Yuga lived long, okay, and they also attained moksha, yes, but that that is very, very long drawn process compared to the later yugas. Okay, so now it is said that in Satya Yuga or Kruta Yuga, both are one and the same. Okay, so in that yuga, one will become closer to Bhagwan with tapas, contemplation, constant contemplation. In Treta Yuga, it is said that because they could not focus on contemplation, they needed some kind of a sadhana, like some kind of an instrument in front of them. And that instrument or that means was Havan. Okay, so that's why there were every time in Ramayana period, you will see a lot of yajnas that were done. Okay, Vishwamitra was doing yajna, Dashrathaji did yajna, lot of saints throughout the Rama's journey in Vanavasa, etc. They were all doing yajnas. So yajnas were there. Okay, you needed to do yajna. Then in the Dwapar Yuga, it is all about Murti Puja. Murti Puja means it is like taking an idol, because in yajna, what happened is that there's a fire, and that fire has no what do you call, like a constant form, because it is shaking, right? Like this, like that. So, but that was enough for them to focusing on that fire. They were able to concentrate. But in later on in Dwapar Yuga, that was not enough. So their puja is introduced actually in Dwapar Yuga. Puja is, you see that Gopikas did puja to attain Lord Krishna as their husband. Rukmini Devi, she did puja. Like that, pretty much all of them were doing pujas at that time. Now in Kali Yuga, it is said all we need to do is japa. Okay? You don't need to do puja. You don't need to do havan or yajna or tapas or anything like that. Just nama japa alone will take us to get us closer to liberation. So it is said that lot of Mahatmas, they want to be born in Kali Yuga because this is easy way out. Okay, so it is something like this, right? Mm. If you are in a school system where the school system is extremely good and every child is extremely brilliant, their chances of getting accepted in an Ivy school is somewhat minimal. Okay, lower. So some people, okay, not everybody, okay, what they do is that around 12th grade or 11th grade or 12th grade, they actually shift to a poor performing school district. Okay. Now, when they move their child to poor performing school district, what happens is that their child becomes superstar across the entire bad school system. So then this attracts the uh, admissions officer's attention, saying like, from coming from that such a bad school system or such a poor school system, this child is so brilliant, so this child definitely deserves a chance, and their chance of getting accepted in high caliber colleges is high. Okay, and this is a technique that like very few people use. Okay, because like there are a lot of pitfalls in there. Okay? So in the same way, several Mahatmas, they want to uh, attain moksha in a easy form, okay, relatively simpler form in Kali Yuga. So they come more and more in Kali Yuga. So the answer is that, yes, it is a long answer, but the answer is that it is possible for all of us to attain moksha in Kali Yuga, despite all the bad things that are happening all around us.
No, this is extremely helpful, I would say. Yeah, very helpful. Because when we think about moksha, moksha is something like, it's unattainable. We need to do this, that, because we have seen the Ramayanas and Mahabharatas and Bhakti and how what you need to do if you need to go to Vaikuntha, right? So it's like
Mhm.
it's so blurry, right? But what you said about only Nam Japa could be enough. So apparently the bar isn't that high.
Yeah, I mean, see the thing is that Nama Japa with proper heart, your heart in it. Okay, so that's important, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many a times you see that, I mean, I'm just giving a gross example, right? Uh, uh, say, someone will be like doing Ram 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 Ram. Hey, bhadve idhar aa." And then they yell at someone and give some
That was a very good example.
okay, and then they'll come continue Ram 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 Ram, and then like that. So that's not the type of japa we are talking about, right? So
Coupled with good karmas, right? So, yeah.
okay, so we'll conclude here then.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ